The Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria retains the key rate at 13%.
It's important to note that, first of all, by the introduction or by at the initial stage reducing the open position from, say, 1 to 0.
Hello and welcome to Business Incorporated. I'm glad you could join me. I am Bolaji Akinwale. Let's begin by bringing you some headlines as the federal government states that it has no plans to reduce the oil benchmark for the 2015 budget. The last is yet to be heard on the oil benchmark for the 2015 budget, as the federal government says it is not reviewing the price at the moment. This latest development is contrary to expectations from experts who had called for a cut in budget benchmark going by the slide in the commodity in the international market. The Federal Ministry of Finance in the statements explained that the price of oil remains volatile and it is uncertain how the condition will bottom out. The government maintains that it's taken a scenario-based approach in handling the 2015 budget, adding that for various levels of oil price, there will be additional measures on the revenue and expenditure side, which will kick in when it simmers down. The medium-term expenditure framework is currently at the National Assembly, and the executive arm of government says it is working together with the lawmakers to ensure that the country is steered in the right direction. The federal government has approved a new funding mechanism that will ensure that cotton, textile and garment companies access long-term, low-interest loans to finance their operations. Aganga noted that the policy, which was a product of prolonged and comprehensive consultation with all the practitioners in the industry, is expected to address all bottlenecks preventing the growth of the sector. The federal government introduced a 100 billion naira revival fund to the Bank of the Industry in 2010. The fund aims to resuscitate the sector. The federal government has announced the launch of the Innovation Distribution Fund to improve the distribution of audiovisual content, reduce piracy and protect intellectual property in the entertainment industry. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, in a statement issued by a special advisor on communications, Mr. Paul Nwabuku, said that the fund was targeted at businesses in the film distribution space. The plan was a market-driven approach which would boost the number and quality of distribution options through strategic co-financing of new channels and supporting the expansion of existing ones. The approach would also include technology-based solutions such as digital streaming, movie exhibition, infrastructure, and physical distribution. The objective is to make pirated copies of Nollywood movies unattractive to consumers by ensuring that genuine products are easily available at a multiplicity of accessible points. It is also to ensure that those who put the effort into film production are properly rewarded. In our reports, we'll take a look at the decision of the Monetary Policy Committee to leave the benchmark rate at 13%. The Monetary Policy Committee retains the key rate at 13%. It also retained the CRR on private sector deposits at 20%, the CRR on public sector deposits at 75%, and the liquidity ratio at 30%. The committee noted with satisfaction the growth performance of the economy as well as the year-end inflation outcome. It is however concerned about a number of risks, including the security challenge in parts of the country, which has continued to disrupt farming and related activities, and the sustained decline in oil GDP.
The divergence between the United States and the Euro area monetary policy stance, non-inclusive growth, and the regional impact of falling oil prices with acute revenue shortages in countries like Nigeria, Venezuela, and Russia add to the risk factors.
With regard to inflation, the committee noticed the recurring challenge of excess liquidity in the banking system and the possible complications arising from capital flow reversal, as well as the demand pressure in the foreign exchange market. The Monetary Policy Committee ruled out further devaluation of the naira and warned against speculative trading in the currency, vowing that it will do everything within its power to protect it from further depreciation. The Central Bank Governor, Godwin Emefiele, noted that while the CBN would continue to provide foreign exchange for Nigerians engaged in legitimate business, it would not allow the nation's currency to come under speculative attacks.
We disagree with this situation or with the assertion that the market is not liquid. It's important to note that, first of all, by the introduction or by at the initial stage reducing the open position from, say, 1 to 0, it did not mean that there was no trading. There was intraday trading, and there was intraday trading during that period, but what we only insisted was that the banks must close their positions to 0 because of the volatility that we saw in the market during that period on exchange rate. And we thought that we could not allow that to continue because we also discovered certain uncomfortable tendencies in the market which portend that there was some speculative attack on the currency.
It stated that currently the naira was appropriately priced, adding that there was no need for anybody to worry that there would be another devaluation of the currency. The significant pressure persisted in the foreign exchange market during the 2014 year, resulting in further weakening of the local units across the 3 segments of the market, was also noted.
The interbank selling rate opened at 165 naira 70 kobo to the dollar and closed at 180 naira to the dollar, representing a depreciation of 14 naira 73 kobo or 8.63% in the period, while at the bureau de change segment, the selling rate opened at 170 naira to the dollar and closed at 191 naira 50 kobo to the dollar, representing a depreciation of 21 naira 50 kobo or 12.64%.
The governor faulted the JP Morgan Chase Index report released last week, which placed Nigeria on the negative watch for the next 3 to 5 months because the country's foreign exchange and the bond markets was illiquid. Governor Emefiele rejected the assertion that the markets was illiquid, noting that the central bank took the decision to reduce the net open position from 1% to 0% owing to the volatility in the market. He added that due to the importance of the JP Morgan Index to the economy, the central bank would engage the agency to provide it with facts and figures to prove the level of Nigeria's liquidity.